College football feels bigger than sports sometimes. The rivalries, the stadiums, the traditions, the legends, the Heisman moments, the dynasty, everything about college football has created some of the greatest stories in sports history. Today, we're diving deep into the history of college football, the Blue Bloods, the greatest players, legendary national championships, Heisman winners, and what made college football become what it is today. My name is Troupe. Welcome back to episode 18 of the Trust Troupey Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. 18 episodes in, episode 18 of the Trust Troupey Podcast. You know what it is. You know how it's going. We're slowly growing on every platform. You know we got to do a little bit of plugging every single time. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, go subscribe to the YouTube at Troupey Whoopie. This is where you'll see me face to face with the animations and all of the emotes and all of that. And then you have your podcast pages to where you can audio listen to hear my beautiful voice on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like I said, we're slowly growing. Growth isn't linear. It'll fluctuate up and down. We're trying to build something, trying to be consistent here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make episodes where people will look back on and be like, shit, he made a good point there. You know what I mean? So obviously we're growing every week. We're trying to do things every week, different things every week. Today. I've been on my college football kick. I missed the season. So we're going to do a mid-off season college football episode, just kind of going through like the history of things, some of my favorite moments, some hot takes I have about college football, just everything. We'll call this the college football checkpoint episode. Okay. That's what the title will be and everything. It'll be called the college football checkpoint episode. Right. Yeah, like I said, I was watching a bunch of stuff. I watched the Johnny Manziel story last night. I watched the Florida Gators documentary again. Such a good documentary. I was just watching everything college football. I watched that SEC Any Given Saturday documentary last night, too. I was bored. You know what I mean? I just graduated. I've just been bored, you know what I mean? But been doing a lot of things with college football. So I want to talk college football because this is where I started, you know what I mean? This is where everything kind of fell in line, you know what I mean? So definitely going to tap into that today. Like I said, make sure you guys are following my main TikTok at Troupey Whoopie. Make sure you guys are following the Instagram at CT.03. We're blowing up on there a little bit. We just hit 15K over there. Slowly growing, slowly maneuvering, slowly getting this thing together. You know what I mean? Little change of scenery. I came back home for a couple days, so just stay mindful. You know what I mean? But obviously, let's go ahead and get straight into the first segment. Again, we talk about this often. We always talk about NFL versus college football. I just want to let everybody know college football shits on the NFL. College football shits on the NFL. It's more passion. It's more drive. It's more tradition. The stadiums are better. The fans are better. Everything about it. The only thing that the NFL is more than a college is toxic. And that's an argument there. You know what I mean? That's an argument there. College football has always been better than NFL. Now, I love NFL football because I love football in general. But if I had a choice between a primetime Saturday night college football game and a primetime Sunday night NFL football game, I'm choosing the Saturday night every single time. Every single time. College football is better. It's always been better. I don't want to hear none of that. No sport feels more emotion than college football. College football is the best sport in the world. Now, I will say, college sports is now starting to become a lot more money hungry like the NFL, so it's starting to take away a little bit of that shine. I hate the fact that we're getting there, but you know what I'm alluding to. I'm talking about the 24-team playoff that they're trying to do, which probably is going to end up happening. I'm talking about the different NIL strategies, and it's no longer a game for college athletes to go show off their skill. It's now a game of, it's basically turned into the G League for the NFL. It's basically turned into that. It's a bunch of college athletes that's getting paid over $1 bajillion. Now, again, do I think these college athletes should be paid? Always, yes. I absolutely do think these college athletes should be paid. But at the same time, $5 million NIL evaluation is insane for any 18, 19, 20-year-old. It's crazy. It's absolutely wild. I think a part of that, I like a part of it because it's a new era of college football. We're no longer in the rough and tough, thug it out era of college football. We're now in the era of, hey, these kids know how much they're worth. So they know what schools deserve them and what schools need to have this or that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's getting there. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like it. I love the fact that now And I love the fact that players are now able to flaunt their tattoos and flaunt their chains and the watches and the jewelry and the cars. I love it. I love it. I know some people ain't gonna love it. You know what I mean? I love it. I love the fact that these boys got money and they gonna show you why they worth this money. I fuck with it. And that's a big part of the reason why I still love college football too. But I'd be stupid to sit here and be like, hey, it's not toxic sometimes, because the poaching thing is definitely becoming a problem. The constant transferring after minor inconveniences is becoming a problem. I also think transferring for more NIL money is also a problem too. But, to each his own. I'm not going to say anything about the transfer portal because of the fact that everybody has their own situations. You never know what's going on back home. You never know what situations these athletes are going through. You never know any of that. So I don't fault a lot of people for transferring. I do look at people sideways if this is your 5th transfer in 7 years. You know what I mean? I do look at people sideways just a little bit. But, that is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just something about a Saturday night, crisp fall morning. Yeah, I mean a Saturday morning. A Saturday crisp fall morning. The dew's still on the ground. You turn on College Game Day. You make your breakfast. It's your day off. You just worked a long week, knowing that Alabama LSU game is at noon. That Ohio State versus Texas is at noon. It's at 3:30, and you just get to lounge around all day and just watch some great football. I love it. And this year, I'm gonna try to like start a little system of like making sure I watch as many games as possible, because I already watch a good majority of the games, but I'm going to make some type of like system of like keeping track of something, because I want to be more intuitive with it this year. I was so intuitive with it last year but like I was also in school still. So like, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely going to find a way to make sure I ramp it up a little bit this year, because I'm so excited for this season. My Notre Dame Fighting Irish is looking like a contender. Listen, I don't want to jinx anything, but it's feeling like that type of year. But college football is better than the NFL. It always has been better than the NFL. Everything about it, the stadiums, the atmosphere, the fans, everything. It's always been better than the NFL. It's always been better than any league. It's always been better than all of it, solely because of the fact of the energy that goes behind it. There's nothing that's going to beat a Saturday afternoon in Tuscaloosa and Death Valley and Notre Dame Stadium at the Shoe, at the Big House. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never going to beat an environment like that. You know what I mean? Those NFL stadiums get loud. Yes. They're great. Yes, but ain't nothing ever gonna beat a prime time Saturday night football game. Ain't nothing ever gonna beat it, man. It's something about it. It's something about it. I just love it, man. But this is no shot to the NFL, obviously. This is no shot to any other football league, because I love all football, you know what I mean? But it's just something about college, the pageantry, just everything about it. The games are a lot more structured and fluid. Yes, you're not going to get the pro style play calling like you're going to get in the NFL, but it's a lot more exciting athletes. It's a lot more exciting things going on. It's a lot more raw football rather than, hey, we know our game plan. We sticking to it. You never know when somebody is going to pop off for 400, 500 yards just because of the fact that he was able to run around the pocket all day. That's what makes college football. That's what makes college football this phenomenon that so many people can't explain why they love it, because it's just so many things going on. Not to mention, a peak college football season is more likely to happen than a peak NFL season, because a lot of time with the NFL, there's some true contenders. There are 1 or 2 true contenders that look like it all year. Realistically. 1 or 2 true contenders that look like it all year. In college, most of the time it's going to be about 4, 5, 6 of them. Not always. There are some years where it's one team that stands above the rest. But even last year, it was such a roller coaster. You have this team rise up, this team drop down. Ohio State's number 1 all year, gets knocked out by IU. IU runs gauntlet in the to win the championship. Like, it was so much that went on this year. It was perfect. College football is always going to be king. Okay, let's do it. Segment 2. Let's talk about it. The greatest Heisman Trophy winners ever. I feel like I've gone through this list before, but I've always going to come back to it. Cam Newton is the greatest Heisman of all time. I think Cam Newton is the greatest college football player ever. I think Cam Newton is the greatest college football player to ever touch the planet. He's number one for me. He's always going to be number one for me. Number two, it's up to your own jurisdiction. If you want to put Burrow, if you want to put Bush, if you want to put whoever, just know and understand. Cam Newton's number one, okay? But I wanted to talk about something because I feel like enough time has passed to where a lot of people they're done glazing and dick riding. Can we admit that Fernando Mendoza was the most underwhelming Heisman quarterback of all time? Can we admit that? Can we finally get off this soapbox of acting like he was the greatest quarterback in the country? Can we get off this soapbox and acting like he was the best player in the country? There was not one person out there that can tell me with a straight face that he was the best player in the country. There was not one player out there, one person who was being genuine about this argument that could sit there and tell me that he was the best player in the country. Was he the best player in the country? Absolutely not. I think he was on the team that beat the number one team in the country, and the fact that he was the quarterback of that team, the quarterback of the number one team in the country, that's why he won it. It wasn't because of stats. It wasn't because of his dominance. It wasn't because of any of that. He was the most underwhelming Heisman since Troy Smith. Like, come on now. We don't have to sit here and act like this. Like he was the like personally, I come back to this every couple weeks or so because I'd be like, hey, I think it's time we have that conversation. But people are still brain dead by the fact that they think he's the best quarterback ever. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't see it. Did he have a great year? Yes. Did he command that team? Absolutely. Was he a big part of that national championship run? Absolutely. Was he a big part of why that team won? Yes. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and act like his stats in any way, shape, or form were quarterback level. We're Heisman quarterback level. We watch gods play quarterback. The last quarterback that won the Heisman Trophy was Jaden Daniels. He threw for 4,500 and rushed for another 1,000. He had over 5,000 plus yards of total offense. The quarterback before that was Bryce Young. He threw for a shit ton of yards and was a magician out there. He looked like the best player in the country. The quarterback before that, I believe, was Burrow. We know what Burrow did. 6,000 plus yards. What are we talking about? Kyler, Baker, Lamar, Winston. These are all these quarterbacks that put up these godly numbers. Like you got to realize when we talk about Heisman winning quarterback, we're talking about a player that took college football by the balls, and said, "Hey, this is my shit. I'm throwing for 4,500. I'm throwing for 50 touchdowns all in one season." But we still gotta surround ourselves and act like Fernando Mendoza was the best player in the country. Fernando Mendoza wasn't the best player in the country. And if you think that, I apologize to you for whatever the fuck you got going on. Fernando Mendoza wasn't the best player in the country. He wasn't the best quarterback in the country. Can we admit that? Can we admit that he wasn't even the best quarterback in the country? Because he wasn't. He won the award because he was on the best team, and he was the quarterback of the best team. I hate to admit that because I hate IU, but we don't have to sit here and pitter patter with this shit anymore. We don't have to. Enough time has passed to where we can talk real shit about this shit. Fernando Mendoza was not a better quarterback than Chambliss. He wasn't a better quarterback than a lot of other quarterbacks out there. I'm not gonna say a lot. He was a top 5 quarterback, but to sit here and act like his Heisman season was that fascinating, it wasn't fascinating. It wasn't that fascinating. It wasn't. He had an okay year on an amazing team. We don't have to sit here and pitter patter with this shit anymore. I'm tired of it. I am tired of it. I'm not going to sit here and act like a quarterback that threw 2,800 yards was worthy of the best player in the country award. Are you serious? Now, I'm not saying that. Now, this is not me saying it because Jeremiah Love was in the Heisman race. No, hell no. Personally, I would have loved for Love to win that award, but they weren't going to give it to a running back. I knew a quarterback was going to win the award. Listen, this is going to sound crazy. I personally thought Pavia had the stats to win it. I thought Pavia had a Heisman quarterback stats to win it, and the way he was able to carry that team. I thought Pavia should have probably won it. If not, give it to a defensive player. But I knew they were going to give it to a quarterback. I just didn't know. But realistically, you can go through the list of Heismans in recent years, literally, in fact, we got time. I'm going to go through the whole list, and I'm going to tell you who was better than who between Fernando Mendoza and that year. Last year, we had Fernando Mendoza. Obviously, the year before that was Travis Hunter. I'm taking Travis Hunter's Heisman over Fernando Mendoza's Heisman any day of the week. The year before that, we had Jaden Daniels. I'm taking Jaden Daniels over Fernando Mendoza, quarterback-wise, too. The year before that, 2022, I believe, Caleb Williams. I'm absolutely taking Caleb Williams this year. And I forgot to mention him because I said I skipped over him. Oh, yeah. Caleb Williams, absolutely taking him. Before that, I believe it was Bryce Young. I'm absolutely taking Bryce Young over Fernando Mendoza. 2020, Devonta Smith, the best receiver ever. I don't know why we're getting into this conversation between him and JJ. JJ's not done with college yet, and he hasn't half the awards and half the accomplishments and half of any of that. I'm taking Devonta Smith over Fernando Mendoza. I'm taking Burrow. I'm taking Kyler. I'm taking Baker. I'm taking Lamar, I'm taking Henry, I'm taking Winston, I'm taking Mariota, I'm taking all of these guys over Fernando Mendoza. The only player where it becomes a real conversation is Troy Smith because they both were equally as underwhelming as Heisman winning quarterbacks. Shoot me if you have to. I don't care. They were equally as underwhelming. We don't have to pitter-patter with this topic anymore. We don't have to beat around the bush. Well, he won it and he was the best quarterback. No, he wasn't. We don't have to say that. I don't have to say that. You don't have to be indoctrinated to say that. Stockholm Syndrome. That's what it is. You don't have to sit here and act like you have to say it. The IU fans aren't going to do shit to you. They're soft. I'm sorry. They're soft. They talk a big game, but they're just now getting used to winning, okay? I'm on my shit today, all right? But no, he wasn't the best player in the country. He wasn't the best quarterback in the country. He wasn't the best offensive player in the country. He wasn't the best offensive player on his team. We can stop right now with this funky ass narrative that Fernando Mendoza was the greatest anything. We don't have to do any of that. His Heisman season was underwhelming. His Heisman candidates were underwhelming. Everything about that Heisman year was under-fucking-whelming. They just felt like they had to give it to a quarterback. That's my soapbox for the day. That's my soapbox on that. But I don't give a fuck who you have over whatever, as long as Cam Newton is number one. You know what I'm saying? As long as Cam Newton was number one. Cam Newton is the best Heisman of all time. This is no ifs, ands, buts about it. And I feel like anybody that argues with me is a problem. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'll allow you to argue Joe Burrow. I will allow it because of the fact that Joe Burrow put up some godly numbers, unreal numbers. But when we look at team-to-team basis and how the teams won, I'm not the type to sit here and say somebody carried. Cam definitely didn't carry because that defense was solid. Everything about that team was solid. But a lot of the times when you're the focal point of the offense, like Cam was, oh, man, that creates problems. And he was the focal point of the offense. Focal point of the offense. I'm taking Cam over anybody. I don't care. I think Cam's resume matches up with any other Heismans. I'm taking Cam over anybody. Over anybody. No bullshit. No bullshit. I'm taking Cam over anybody. Anybody. And you can come argue with a rock with me about that shit. Segment 3. You get a question. You get these questions a lot, okay? Who are the blue bloods of college football? And my honest answer, okay? Always honest answer. It's going to be Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, USC, Oklahoma, Texas. Texas is the only one with an asterisk next to it, okay? Because Texas just doesn't have as much history or anything as a lot of these other programs. Oklahoma has the Heismans. Oklahoma has the draft picks. Oklahoma has the national chips, okay? USC has the Heismans, the draft picks, the national chips, the relevance, the history, all of that. Michigan has the wins, the national championships, the Heismans, all of that. They have all of that. Notre Dame has the wins, the championships, the history, the draft picks, the Heismans, the championships, everything. They have. I think if we being realistic, I think Notre Dame's the blue blood of the blue blood. You know what I'm saying? But I think obviously Ohio State's another one. They have this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? They have 9 championships, I believe. They have a bunch of Heisman winners, you know what I'm saying? I just think when it comes down to history, and then obviously Alabama too. When it comes down to history, I think the two that I question are Texas and Ohio State when it comes to blue bloods. Because I think they're both blue bloods. It's hard to not put them in there. I think they're both blue bloods. But even, I was talking with my dad about this last night. I think they both, Ohio State has had spurts to where, like, they just, like, if you go back far enough, Ohio State just isn't as relevant as the rest of these programs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was talking with my dad, like, I believe Notre Dame won a national championship in 8 straight decades. Obviously, it's been the only thing Notre Dame's kind of missing is a recent national championship. You know what I mean? But they got the wins. They got the draft picks. I believe we're number one in draft picks all time. We're tied with number one. I think USC is up there for draft picks and all of that too. With and then everything, right? Even a lot of these programs have won national championships in a lot of different eras. You know what I'm saying? Ohio State has won 3 of their 9 in this century, which obviously puts them in recent relevancy. But listen, Ohio State's a blue blood. I can't sit there and deny that they're not, but I question it sometimes. I do. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Because if we're talking full history, if we're talking full tradition and everything, I think there are programs over it. Yeah. But I'm not here to start arguing with Ohio State fans because I know how y'all get. Y'all get butthurt real quick, okay? But I think those are the blue bloods, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to enter those. I think the only team you can truly argue should not be there is Texas, okay? 2 Heisman winners. Like, come on now. Like, come on now. You know what I mean? But I think the team that you could really argue that shouldn't be there is Texas. But even then, Texas kind of has that, like, pedigree of winning some championships here and there, you know what I mean? To keep themselves in it. Oh, I forgot Nebraska. Nebraska's definitely a blue blood. I tweaked. Nebraska's a blue blood, too. I'm going to start that over. The blue bloods of college football: Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, USC, Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska. Nebraska's absolutely in there because they had a run or a stretch throughout history where they would win multiple in a decade. Nebraska's absolutely in there. You know what I'm saying? But I just want people to understand something. Blue bloods, you kind of just can't relinquish a blue blood status because it's history. You can't delete history. You're never going to be able to delete Notre Dame's however many championships because we have a bunch that, you know what I mean? You're never going to be able to take away Alabama's championships or Ohio State's draft picks or championships or Michigan's wins or USC's history or Oklahoma's Heismans or Texas's tradition. You're never going to be able to take those there. But I just need people to understand that blue bloods are bigger than an era. This is the perennial programs throughout history, the history of college football, from day one to now. Now, people are going to ask me, what about Yale? What about Princeton? They don't fucking count. They were counting championships against Brown and Princeton and Yale and Harvard. They were counting national championships after beating one team. The other Ivy League teams because they felt like they were that good, right? Not doing that. Not doing that. But those are the blue blood. Those are the blue blood organizations. There are certain organizations. There are certain fan bases. Not fan bases. There are certain programs you cannot argue. There are certain programs who they will never be able to relinquish. You can't relinquish their blue blood status. I think those programs that are like locked in and solidified to blue blood. Like I think the blue blood of the blue bloods is Alabama, Notre Dame, Michigan, and damn near USC or Nebraska. The others, they're there. They're obviously in the blue bloods, but I think there's an upper echelon of blue blood because of the history and the tradition and the talent and the championships and the fan bases of everything. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I think the most historic program in college football history is Notre Dame. I'm biased, obviously, but I think the most historic program in college football history is Notre Dame. Not only do we have the history and the tradition, but we also have the story, the not being able to get put into the Big Ten because nobody wanted us there, so we had to create our own shit. We had to literally go independent, and now we're still hated on for being independent to this day. And we also have the multiple national championships. We won one in every decade except for recently in the 90s. Recently in the 90s, you know what I mean? one run in every decade. We constantly are getting there. We're constantly in the loop. We are like 4th in wins all time. We're number 1 in draft picks of all time. Fan bases are everywhere because of the fact that Notre Dame games are broadcasted across the country on the NBC deal that we've had forever. I just think it's hard for me to not say that Notre Dame is not the blue blood of the blue blood. I think Notre Dame, when you think of college football, you might think Bama right now, but when you think of the history of college football, I think Notre Dame is what college football embodies. I think they are. I think they're exactly what college football embodies, the everything about it. Because when you think of every category of success, Notre Dame is top 5 or top 10 in every single one. Wins, percentage, championships, anything. Because I believe we're 3rd in championships or 2nd in championships. We're 4th in wins all time. We're 1st in draft picks. I think we're like top 3 in Heisman winners and tradition. Everybody knows Notre Dame's fight song. I think Notre Dame has the most historic fight song. I think Notre Dame has the most historic helmets. I think Notre Dame has just like the most tradition. Everybody knows Touchdown Jesus. I'm sorry, you know Touchdown Jesus. Even if you've never watched college football, you're like, oh no, that's South Bend, Indiana. That's Notre Dame. That's Notre Dame. Touchdown Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I think they have one of the most historic stadiums. I just think everything that embodies the history of college football, Notre Dame embodies that. Everything that embodies the history of college football, Notre Dame embodies it to a T. So when we're talking about blue bloods, make sure Notre Dame's name is said first. Make sure Notre Dame's name is said first. I'm not even arguing with nobody on that. If you want to argue with me about that, we got the history. We got all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, the only thing people can say against us is the fact that we ain't won one recently. It's been since 1988. We ain't won one recently. We haven't won one recently. And I think once we win one next year, I'm putting it out there. Once we win one next year, a lot of things going to change. A lot of things going to change, man. A lot of things going to change. But I think Notre Dame is the blue blood of the blue bloods, and I think we can all agree on that, right? Yeah, I don't really care what you think. I don't care what you think. All right, let's get into it. Segment 4, the greatest national championship teams ever. Okay? This is another list. This is another segment that, like, this is another segment that I take dearly, because there are only a couple teams that I am allowing to be in consideration. I'm allowing to be in consideration, okay? I think anybody that doesn't have Miami in their top 2 at least, I think if anybody doesn't have them in their top 1, it's a problem. Miami is the greatest college football team of all time. Crazy stat. We hear it all the time. The team would have went 8-4 if the offense never scored a point. If the offense never touched the field, the team would have went 8-4. And this is already taken away from a great offense. Andre Johnson, Frank Gore. Are we serious? Yeah. Miami's the greatest team of all time. No question about it to me. Miami. Ed Reed. Sean Taylor was a backup. Antrell Roll, all of these. No. Miami is the greatest football team of all time. I'll let you have LSU, 2019 LSU at 2. I think that's the greatest offense we've ever seen. I think it's a top 1 offense. I think it's them in 2013 Florida State with the greatest offenses ever. Yeah, up there. I'll give you 2020 Bama. Those are my 3. Miami, 2019 LSU, and 2020 Bama. Those are my 3 greatest college football teams of all time. I know a lot of people want to put 95 Nebraska in there. I got 95 Nebraska a little bit down. But I think my 3 greatest national championship teams of all time were Miami, 2019 LSU, 2020 Bama, in that order. And I personally think, don't shoot me on this one, I think there's an argument to be had that 2020 Bama is better than 2019 LSU. Hold on. Let me explain. I think 2020 Bama was the only team defensively that had the firepower to compete with LSU's offense. And as long as we can agree, 2020 Bama is scorching 2019 LSU's defense. That's the difference between the teams. 2020 Bama's team was legendary on both sides. 2019 LSU's team was legendary on one side. There's an argument to be had. Let's be real here. You ain't got to agree with me, but hear me out. There's an argument to be had that 2020 Bama is better than 2019 LSU as a whole. There's an argument to be had. You're not going to hear me out on this, but there's an argument to be had, okay? Next, 2018 Clemson. One of the best D-lines ever. One of the best D-lines ever. I think it's so hard not to put them in that list. It's so hard. It's so hard not to put them in that list. 2018 Clemson's up there. 95 Nebraska's obviously up there. 05 Texas. 04 USC. 08 Florida team was disgusting. I think either of the Georgia teams in 21 or 22, disgusting. Yeah, but like I said, I think any list without 01 Miami at number 1 is a problem. I think any list without 01 Miami at least top 2 is a problem. I think if you have them outside of the top 3, then you need not to talk football at all. You need not to talk football at all. But I do have a viewer question. Where does 2025 IU rank in your greatest national championship teams ever? You are my real answer. You are my real answer. I think they're towards the bottom of this 26 years. I think they're towards the bottom of this last 25. Because again, we can go through the champions, and I'll tell you exactly which ones I'm taking over them. Right? We can go through the champions. Ready? Boom. I'm taking 24 Ohio State over them. Off the rip, I'm taking 24 Ohio State. 23 Michigan, I'm taking over them. 22 Georgia, I'm taking over them. 21 Georgia, I'm taking over them. 2020 Bama, I'm taking over them for sure. And 19 LSU, I'm taking over them 100%. The fact that they were even trying to compare the two is a fucking problem. Absolutely taking 2019 LSU. 2018 Clemson, taking over them. 2017 Bama, I'm taking over them. 2016 Clemson, I'm taking over them. 2015 Bama, that's where it becomes an issue. I'm still taking 2015 Bama. 2014 Ohio State, I'm taking over them. 2013 Florida State, 100% taking over them. 2013 Florida State is in my top 10. Top 10 football teams of all time. 2012 Bama, that's an argument there. That's an argument. A.J. McCarron was their quarterback. He was okay. He was cool. He was decent in college. He was decent. That's an argument. It's an argument. So we'll put them to the side. We'll put 2015 Bama to the side. Okay, that's 2 teams. I give you that. 2011 Bama, 100% taking 2011 Bama. That defense was disgusting. 2010 Auburn, that's an argument too. We'll put them to the side. That's 3 teams. 2009 Bama. We'll put that one to the side too. Matter of fact, no, we're not. I'm actually going to keep 2009 Bama. I think 2009 Bama beats IU. 2008 Florida, 100%. I think they beat IU. 2007 LSU. That's a conversation. It's a conversation. It's a conversation. It is a conversation. It is 100% a conversation. Okay. 2006 Florida, 100% taking Florida. 2005 Texas, 100% taking Texas. And 4 USC taking 204 USC, one of the most dominant offenses ever. 03. That was LSU, USC. I'm taking both LSU and USC in 03. Fuck are we talking about? 02, Ohio State. It's a conversation. Claret was nice. It's a conversation, though. It's 100% a conversation. It's a conversation, okay? 01, Miami. Hell no. 2000, Oklahoma. It's a conversation, okay? So how many teams did I put aside? I put 09 Bama aside. I put 07 LSU aside. I put 2000 Oklahoma aside. I put 2015 Bama aside. I put 2009 Bama aside. 5 teams. I think if you want to put them at 19, at 19 in this era, that's fine. And we can go back even further if you want to. But if you want to put them at 19, if you want to put them at 20 out of 25 out of the past 25 champions, I'm okay with that. Anywhere within that range is fine with me. Anywhere within that range is fine with me. Okay? Anywhere within that range is cool with me. As long as we not sitting here acting like these motherfuckers are top 10, because they're not. Please, for the love of God, I better not see them in top 10 conversations. For the love of God, I better not see IU in top 10 conversations. If IU starts to become in top 10 conversations, please contact me personally so I can get whoever's account that posted that shit banned. Immediately. But, yes, 01 Miami, greatest team of all time. I think the best offense of all time is 2019 LSU, slightly followed by 2013 Florida State. I think those two are the best 2 offenses of all time. The best defenses of all time, I think 01 Miami and 2011 Bama might have that number 2 spot for defense. 2011 Bama might have that. 2011 Bama might have that. I see the 2011 Bama. Oh, 2011 Bama, 2018 Clemson's good. 21 Georgia. I'm gonna go 2011 Bama and 0-1 Miami as the best defenses overall, and the best team overall. 0-1 Miami is not even. Some of these teams just felt unbeatable. But so, segment number 5: most legendary college football players. We already talked about the best Heisman players of all time, but if we're talking, I kind of want to shy away from Heisman winners. Who's the best players to never win a Heisman? Okay. I think if we're talking like that, Vince Young might be the best player to never win a Heisman. The fact that, and if y'all don't know about Vince Young, he was the prototype to the prototype. And I think the prototype right before him was Randall Cunningham. But we're talking big, strong quarterback that can run that ball. You know what I mean? Big, strong quarterback. What, he's 6'5", 250. But I don't know. When I think of like the greatest college football players of all time, is such a long list of players that deserve to be on the list but don't get their flowers, you know what I'm saying? Like Michael Crabtree, I think, is a top 3 receiver in college football history. And I know we have these conversations about JJ, and we have these conversations about all these other receivers. I think Crabtree is better than a lot of them. I think the only person that I can put Crabtree up next to and be like, it's a conversation is Devonta Smith. Because I think Devonta Smith is the greatest college football player, college football receiver. I'm not talking about greatest receiver of all time. He's the greatest college football receiver of all time. There's not a conversation there. Actually, and I want to talk about that even more. Matter of fact, let's scrap this segment. This segment is Devonta Smith versus Jeremiah Smith. There are people out there that are like, I'm 100% taking Jeremiah Smith over Devonta Smith. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think it's that easy to distinguish. I don't think y'all are looking at what Devonta Smith was doing. That motherfucker was killing shit. Jeremiah Smith is a great receiver. And I think these last 2 years were really damn good. I think we gas the fuck out of these new age receivers, though. As if some of these older receivers weren't it. You know what I mean? Jeremiah Smith will go down. That's the thing, like, the fact that we have to, like, question it, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Jeremiah Smith going down as a top 5 receiver in college football history. To be real here. I don't think Jeremiah Smith is going down as a top 5 receiver in college football history. I can say that for sure about Devonta, though. I can say that for sure that Devonta's in top 3 conversations, top 2 conversations. I have him as my number 1 receiver of all time in college football. But like, it's not ridiculous to sit here and say that I don't think Jeremiah Smith's going to end up in top 5 conversations. Now, there will be delusional people that'll act like he's supposed to be. There are going to be people that act like he needs to be, that he is. I don't think Jeremiah Smith is in top 5 conversations as a college football receiver. And some of y'all going to jawn on me. I don't think, but like, unless this motherfucker goes out there this year and goes fucking insane with 1,900 UK, you know what I'm saying? He got to go stupid for me to like consider him. Because as of right now, my top 5 receivers in college football history are Smitty, Crabtree, Megatron. Damn near got to put Julio in that mug. And then that last one is up to like your own, like, Jamar might be up there. Jamar put up 1,700. With another receiver that was threatening him. Jamar's probably top 5. There's a lot of receivers out there. Will he be top 10? Top 10's even debatable. I can, like, realistically, if I sat down and I genuinely thought about it, I don't know if I can name 10 receivers better than Jeremiah Smith right now. But like I said, I named my 5. Come on now. I think y'all are caught up in the fact that Jeremiah Smith's going to be great in the league. Hopefully. I want him to be. I think y'all get caught up in the fact that he's a 6'4", 215, 220 receiver that's moving like he is. I think y'all get caught up in the fact that y'all like everything else when it comes to Jeremiah Smith. I don't think y'all are looking at the production value of these other receivers. I think y'all like the fact that this motherfucker was the highest recruited receiver product of all time, and that he's gone out there and he's played great. He's played amazing. I think that's what y'all get caught up in. If we're being completely honest. I think that's what y'all get caught up in more than anything. But last segment. We're going to move into the last segment. Let's readjust this camera. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, boom. Last segment of the day. Who has the best atmosphere in college football? Such a great question. Such a great question. Realistically, I'm not going to lie to you. It's hard not to say a Bryant-Denny Stadium. It's hard not to say Death Valley, you know what I'm saying, Clemson Stadium. It's hard not to say LSU Stadium, Tiger Stadium. It's hard not to say, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think it's between, as long as we can admit, the best atmospheres are in the SEC. I hate to play the conference game, but nothing's going to beat a Neyland Stadium. And nothing's going to beat a Neyland Stadium. Nothing's going to beat a Bryant-Denny. Nothing's going to beat a Sanford Stadium. Nothing's going to beat a Tiger Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's going to beat those type of environments in the, you know what I'm saying? Nothing's going to beat a swamp. You know what I'm saying? 12th man, Texas A&M. You know what I mean? Like, those are the best atmospheres in college football. You know what I mean? Like when you think of like atmospheres you want to play in as a kid, obviously you think of the Michigans because of the fact of how big that stadium. You think of the Ohio States, you think of the Notre Dames, you think of playing at Alton, you know what I'm saying? You think of playing at a lot of these stadiums. But like the ones that like you hear the most rave about, Tiger Stadium, LSU, Bryant-Denny, Alabama, Georgia Stadium, you know what I'm saying? As of recently, I'll take them off of there. But Neyland Stadium, it's so open. It's so big. And then, you know what I mean? Like, me personally, I think growing up, obviously Notre Dame was my favorite team. I think growing up, the idea of the shoe was actually fascinating to me. I absolutely, like, I adore that stadium. I like that stadium. As much as I hate Ohio State, that stadium is awesome. It's fucking rocking. I love it. I love the shoe. You know what I mean? I love the shoe. We're going to wrap this episode up today. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are thriving every day in your life. I hope you guys are doing absolutely everything possible to make sure you are thriving in life. You know what I'm saying? Got to plug a little bit, though. Follow the YouTube at Troupey Whoopie. You can get full episodes, the animations and everything. Go follow the podcast pages at the Trust Troupey Podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Gotta follow those. That's where you listen to the audio when you're driving on that road trip. You know what I'm saying? Follow the TikTok pages, the main TikTok at Troupey Whoopie. Go follow the TikTok. What's his name? Go follow the podcast TikTok at the Trust Troupey Podcast, and then just go follow Instagram too at CT.03. I love y'all. I fuck with y'all. Listen, you ain't gotta like me. You ain't gotta love me. You ain't even gotta rock with me like that. But you always can trust me. Episode 18 of the Trust Troupey Podcast. Hope you guys have a great day. Peace.